Right, a very warm welcome back. Now, we're living through some pretty difficult times right now. The global economy is struggling to come right, and that's all affecting all of us at company level and at individual level as well. No doubt we all have to dig deep to fight what we want for what we want, and the question is, how do we make the best of a fairly bad situation? One person who reckons we can employ the skills of deal making to address this has written a book, Dealonomics. Kim Meredith is CEO of the Dealmaker company, and she joins me now in studio to talk about this particular book. Thank you very much for joining us, Kim, and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, so what is Dealonomics in a nutshell?
It's essentially getting what you want. The deal part comes from deal making. And the onomics, obviously, from economics. So it's the combination of using a deal to get what you want, primarily when it relates to money. So.
All right. Okay, I'm quite intrigued by the cover of the book, to be honest, where you've got this guy who's almost like a superhero. And I suppose, tell us about this superhero, salaryman, I guess you call him.
Yeah, salaryman's a concept that came originally from Japan. It was a prestigious thing to be a salaryman. You had a corporate job, a good salary, and eventually it became a negative over time, where it was somebody who felt trapped in their job, trapped in the salary band in which they found themselves. And the whole book uses salaryman as a superhero, as you said. How he breaks out of feeling trapped and not having any control over his earnings, his destiny, where he wants to go in his career. And Dealonomics gives him his superpowers. So I built this little analogy around salaryman, rather than, it's to help people who do feel that way, that feel they have no power
to get that
break
power
out.
back. All right, companies can learn quite a bit from this as well, can't they? Because especially when you think about the issue of replacing staff.
When I wrote it, I was a little concerned that the corporate market would think, oh, this woman's teaching people how to get the best possible salaries, get the promotions. But when you look at the cost to an organization of replacing somebody or bringing in somebody from outside the organization, it's 1.5 times the annual salary. So the higher the person, the more they're earning, the more the cost. So if companies know how to look after their good people, or even their average performers, you know, an average performer is still going to be cheaper than hiring some unknown entity from outside. They will look after their people better, I hope.
All right, so I guess the key is for staff, when they're busy doing the deal and negotiating, not to call the bluff of the company, I guess, and negotiate to a point that they don't get fired, but they do get what they want.
I think what people do is say, if you don't give me this, then these are the consequences. They use a big stick. And we're not always in a position to pull out the stick. And it's just showing people that if you give the other person what they want, you're much more likely to get what you want in return. So it's a quid pro quo, the essence of negotiation. You give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. And they've got to dig deep to think, what does the employer want? How do they want me to perform? What do they want from me? Not just give me money. It's not that simple. All right.
A controversial one in your book. You talk about stay-at-home moms and dads, and you reckon that they should get paid.
I do. The book actually has an example. It's a current situation. It's unresolved as yet, so I'm interested to see how it plays out. But, you know, being a stay-at-home mum or a daycare daddy is a full-time job. So where does the money come from? Just heaven forbid the relationship breaks down. The person who's stayed at home has had no income and finds himself in a difficult position. And it's just a little balance sheet. Don't get alarmed, it's nothing. You don't have to have a CA to understand it. On how the person can work out their value, how they get an allowance or a salary for being the carer. You know, we would happily pay someone else a salary if it was a third party, but it doesn't happen within the family unit.
All right, so unfortunately we've run out of time, but it's a great book, lots to read, and I would recommend everybody have a look at this. Dealonomics, how you can earn more money in a bad economy, by Kim Meredith. Kim, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us on this beautiful book. Thank you so much.
Thanks for inviting me.